it's Laynie and welcome to my channel. How are you guys doing today? Leave it down below. You know I love hearing from you. It is beautiful outside where I live today, so I'm going to try to make this video not super long because I really want to get out there and enjoy it. I hope it is beautiful wherever you are today as well. I have added some new fragrance to my collection, so you know I have to share it with you guys. If you want to see what's new in my collection and you enjoy fragrance content, beauty content, and a little bit of lifestyle content, click that subscribe button, join the fam. You won't regret it, or at least I don't think you will. We have a great community here. I'm going to try not to ramble, even though it's difficult, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first one I want to talk about is a body spray that was totally an impulse buy. I was perusing Ulta and stumbled across this exotic pulp, which is by the brand Saltaire, which I really enjoy. I love their serum deodorant. And I was just like, oh, this is a fragrance I haven't smelled from them. I think I've smelled the majority. And it says notes of juicy orange, guava, and driftwood. The color of the bottle definitely caught my eye. It was nice and summery. And then I smelled it and I fell in love. It says bright and tangy, fresh and juicy, exotic pulp will energize your day. It smells like sweet, lush, mouth-watering tropical fruits with a bright twist with notes of juicy orange, guava, and driftwood. And it is truly so bright, so uplifting, very awakening, very, very happy. Like honestly, it just perks up your mood, your day when you smell this. And it truly is mouth-watering juicy. It is so yummy. It is like a true fresh glass of tropical fruit juice. It is so good. Only complaint, the longevity on this is really, really bad. Like really, really bad. I'm gonna say maybe an hour later, maybe a little bit more. I can't pick it up on myself. Maybe others around me can, but I definitely am not picking it up. I don't know if that's it going nose blind or if it's just really not a performer. I'm kind of leaning towards it's probably not a performer because I feel like citrusy, fruity fragrances in general can sometimes have trouble with staying power. And then you add on top that it is a body spray, so it's not going to be amazing with longevity to begin with, typically. And so I'm thinking it's that. Do I mind popping this in my purse to bring with me? No. This is one I would definitely need to bring with me, reapply. I have found myself reaching for it a lot going to the gym because it is awakening, it's bright, it's happy, and I feel like it's a scent most people around you are gonna enjoy. They're not gonna find it aggravating. So that is where I have found myself reaching for it, but truly a happy fragrance. Due to longevity, I don't know if I would repurchase this, but I'm going to enjoy it until it's gone. One more body spray I had to pick up. I definitely saw the promo about this and was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. And I signed up for the Remind Me on Sephora for as soon as it hit the market, I wanted to pick it up. This is Mrs. Smith by Fleur. I do really enjoy that bright green bottle. It just matches the name so perfectly. Like right away you're thinking Granny Smith apple vibes, and in here we have notes of Granny Smith apple, pear, watermelon, heart notes of apple blossom, violet, pink lady apple, and then in the base pink praline, musk nectar. I will tell you guys, I was really surprised with how well this lasts. To me, this competes with some of my perfumes. This is pretty potent. As far as body sprays go, maybe the most powerful in my entire body spray collection. I can really smell this hours later. Now, with it being a body spray, I do spray heavy, but this one really lasts. I love the opening. It is so yummy. There's like a sugary sweetness. There's also a freshness, and I feel like that probably comes from that little bit of tartness you're getting from the Granny Smith apple and that musk. There's something a little bit elevated to this where it's not juvenile. The exotic pulp is like fun, juvenile, fruity body spray. This one is a little bit upper scale, upper class, a little more fruity grown woman. The opening is literally perfection to me. I'm obsessed with the opening of this, like obsessed. So good. Love that appley, fruity, juicy opening. The dry down is a little bit different than I expected. It goes pretty woody in the dry down, which is surprising to me because there's no woods listed in here, but I really get a woody vibe in the deep dry down, and that probably is what helps make it last. I still pick up the sweetness, a little fruitiness in there in the deep dry down, but it goes pretty woody. I think my only complaint to this body spray, and it's really not a super negative, it's just that it's a little redundant in my collection because I do have the Fleur Perfume Mood Ring. The openings do not remind me of each other. The deep dry downs do remind me of each other. Something about that sweet, fruity, kind of candied base with that woody vibe. Really, when I'm wearing this, I definitely am reminded of Mood Ring, like over and over again when I'm wearing it. And I don't necessarily need two of those in my collection. These aren't my everyday reaches, especially with that deep dry down. They're both really lovely. If you're on a budget and you enjoy Mood Ring and the vibe of Mood Ring, but you don't want to spend the price tag of Mood Ring, pick up Mrs. Smith because you get that fruitiness, that sweetness, the very perfumey aspect that's going on in both fragrances. And then the deep dry down to me are very similar. If you have smelled both and worn both, please tell me, am I crazy? But in the deep dry down, I really think they smell a lot alike. I have found myself really loving the Letta Fragrance House. This is Stephanie Letta's brand. She's here on YouTube, and honestly, I didn't really watch her channel. I'm gonna be real. I didn't follow her content. I stumbled upon her with her first fragrance launch from her fragrance house and was like, you know, that sounds kind of like something I would like, so I picked it up. Then I have found myself purchasing every launch she's come out with since. And it's interesting because I do feel like the Letta fragrances do have to grow on me a little bit because they are kind of in that, they actually are a niche fragrance, but they kind of to me are in that niche category where it's not as, they're not always as wearable as your generic designer fragrances. And so for that, sometimes the first time I spray a Letta perfume, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like this. But then like the fourth time I spray it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. There's just something about it for me. And I have really come to love every fragrance she has released. So I had to pick up this one. This is Letta 16 Scenic Rose, and I very much debated if I was going to pick up this fragrance because I'm not a rose fanatic. Because I often find for me, a lot of roses go vintage, and that is what I really do not enjoy. A dated rose, yuck, not my favorite. This one finally went on a great discount, and she does run a lot of good discounts on her website. I think that's another reason I've been drawn to the brand, because to me, you really get luxury, but you don't break the bank. I find her bottles to be absolutely stunning. They're classy, they're heavy. If you had a little vanity situation going on, like they would look so pretty sitting out there. I hope she never changes them. When I purchased, I believe the bottle was 20% off plus free shipping, and I absolutely had to pick it up. I was hesitant. There's some notes in here I really love, but that rose scared me. In here we have top notes of pink pepper, matcha green tea latte, and strawberry. Mid, pear blossom and rose, and then in the base, white woods, musk, and amber vanilla. I definitely feel like most of those notes I jive with, just the rose really scared me, and a lot of the promotions were very rose heavy in the photos, in the video, so I was like, ooh, this could be like a lot of rose. This one is really lovely. It's bright, it's happy, it's feminine. There is rose in there, but I pick up a rose that's like a similar color to my dress, like a light, soft rose. I don't get a vintage rose at all. It's a little bit of like a clean rose. It goes almost just a teensy bit soapy. The strawberry in here is very bright, very juicy. This is not an overly sweet fragrance. It is sweet, but it is not syrupy or super candy sweet. It's like bright, happy, feminine sweet. The pink pepper to me, it's really kind of hidden in there. I know some people don't love that. It doesn't hit me in the face at all. But I am a fan of pink pepper, so I do want to specify that in case you hate pink pepper. I think it just adds a really nice warmth to this fragrance. I definitely get the white woods, the musk. I don't get a ton of amber and vanilla, but I could tell they're in there. To me, this fragrance kind of is a little bit linear. I feel like it gets softer as the wear goes on, but kind of what you get in the opening is what you get in the end. I feel like the fruitiness level just kind of tames out as the base comes forward. This is pretty, it's soft. This one is not a powerhouse. I do feel like if I was going to try to wear it all day long, like work and then go somewhere after work, I would need to reapply this. For being a rose fragrance, I like it a lot more than I expected. If you enjoy the original Delina, I think you would like this. Definitely not as much of a powerhouse or as in your face as Delina, but there's a big price difference there, so that doesn't fully surprise me. But I do kind of put them in like a similar category of fragrance. Like if you enjoy Delina, you'll probably enjoy this, especially if you're rocking a budget like I am, and Delina is just like, woo, that's expensive. I will say I wish I did pick up just like a little bit more of that matcha tea note. I really don't get matcha latte. Maybe a little bit of a earthiness in there, which could come from matcha, because matcha to me has an earthy taste. But when I hear matcha latte, I'm thinking creamy, milky, rich, frothy. This to me is bright, juicy, light, and airy. So I feel like that's a bit of a stretch in the notes. Like I kind of feel like that could be misleading if you're really looking at that matcha green tea latte note and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna love that. I personally do not pick up that in this really. So we went on our yearly vacation this summer to Florida, and we always hit up a really cool niche shop in Miami. It is called Osme. If you're in Miami, visiting Miami, you gotta check it out if you love fragrance. The shop is so cool. The owner is so nice, so friendly, so helpful, but he also doesn't try to sell you stuff. He like lets you walk around and sniff, which is my favorite. I don't like feeling pressured when I'm checking out fragrances at a counter, but a lot of his bottles are definitely out of my price range or way more niche smelling than anything I would ever wear enough to make it worth spending the money on. But I knew I wanted to pick something up. I've picked something up the last 2 years that we've gone, and I wanted something that I knew I would wear, and I also kind of wanted to stick on the lower end of my budget this time just because I knew there was other things I was hoping to pick up. So after sniffing around, I debated, and then I landed on this small bottle of Dama Bianca. This is by Giorgia from I think it's the Cosmomarati line, and I had a dupe of this from Giuliana's, which is stunning. Like their version is so good. So I knew I loved this fragrance. The bottle is very pretty. It's very tiny though. I definitely got the little guy. The little guy I believe sat right at $100. The big bottle he had in stock was $300, and that's over my budget. And so in here, if you don't know anything about Dama Bianca, there is kumquat and lime in the opening. In the mid, there is violet, iris, lilac, jasmine, lily of the valley, and in the base, there's vanilla, malt, musk, ambrette, sandalwood, and cedar. And this is honestly a unique fragrance. That malt note I really pick up in there. To me, the kumquat, the malt, and the ambrette are what makes this fragrance just perfection. And it is to me like a whimsical princess fragrance. If you were having like a spring wedding, this would just be perfect. It's so ladylike, it's so feminine, it's soft, but people will definitely pick it up on you. And then one that I was so excited to find. This was a Mercari steal, you guys. I personally love buying fragrances off Mercari. Always be careful with who you buy from. Make sure they have reviews. This is just something I do. I typically only buy newer releases and from kind of smaller, less known brands. The reason I say that is I don't buy a lot of like big time designer brands, especially fragrances that have been around for a few years or more. I feel like those are more likely to have knockoffs out there in the market running around, and maybe the seller doesn't even realize they have a knockoff and they're just trying to declutter their collection. But I am picky about what I buy on Mercari. But when I can find a steal that I feel good about, I do just get so stinking excited. And that's how I felt when this one came on there. This is Juice Box, Sisters Before Misters. So definitely a very niche brand. You're not gonna find this everywhere. I couldn't believe it. I found a little shop in Nashville that is a relatively new niche shop, and it's super cool. I'll put their information down below, and same with the Miami shop. If you're traveling, they're so fun to check out. And I almost bought this at the Nashville shop, almost. But full price, it was like, I think $230, which is more than I normally spend. I try to be a responsible adult over here, and so I loved it. Like I loved this fragrance in the shop, and I was so tempted, right? But it was just over my price tag, and I had already bought a couple things on vacation, and I was like, ooh, I'm not gonna feel good with myself if I spend that much money. I put this on my saved searches on Mercari, and I was like, well, maybe, just maybe, someone is gonna declutter their collection, and it popped up. This is a fragrance that used the Spice Girls as the inspiration for making it. And okay, I was born in 1990. My grade school years were encompassed by the Spice Girls. We were all just huge Spice Girl fans. Like, that was everything. The movie, the Barbies, the music, the playground. We were all girls just fighting over who was going to be which Spice Girl. Like, that is my childhood. And I had been jonesing for a banana fragrance. And so this popped up. Full price, usually like 230 bucks, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I picked this up for, I think, $120. Still a lot, right? Not cheap, but I saved like a little over $100 on it by finding it on Mercari. So I don't feel bad about getting this fragrance. And it smells so good to me. If you're not familiar with Sisters Before Misters, there's top notes of lime, blackcurrant, and ginger. A warmth from the ginger. It really blends in nicely. And the lime is not as in your face as you would think for being in the top notes. The middle is strawberry, banana, lily of the valley, and orris. Honestly, I get the banana big time from the opening to the mid. This is really a potent banana, in my opinion. That's what my nose picks up a lot of. In the base, there's sugar, milk, sandalwood, and amber. This is candy sweet, okay? It's very, very sweet. It's very in-your-face banana, like banana Laffy Taffy, which some people really hate that style of banana. I personally really like it, and I think it works so well with the whole Spice Girls vibe, like 90s childhood, but also still perfumey at the same time. Like, being a 35-year-old woman, I don't feel out of place wearing this. There's something in here that keeps it from going too juvenile. And I think it is that milk and sandalwood. I definitely get that in here. It's smooth, it's creamy, and that really pairs beautifully with that banana note. If you like the Kayali banana fragrance, is it called like Maui in a bottle? Don't quote me, I'm not sure, but there was one that's banana. I love that. But the lasting power when I tried it in store was horrible. This one lasts pretty darn well. I do feel like it's not gonna last you 8-10 hours. I think you're gonna get a good wear for 5 to 6. I'd probably reapply this again if I'm trying to do all day wear. The banana does tame a bit in the deep dry down. I get the banana for quite a while, but I do feel like the base, I really start to just get more sugary sweetness, sandalwood, and kind of a smooth creaminess from that milk note. There is something in the base that on occasion when I get whiffs of it is a bit synthetic, but I don't always get that. It kind of depends on my nose that day, but I really love it. If you like sweet, if you like gourmand, if you like fun, flirty, girly fragrances, I really think you're gonna like Sisters Before Misters. I'm so excited I found this on a steal. Have you smelled Sisters Before Misters? If so, let me know what you think down below. That is all the new stuff in my collection that I've picked up over the last couple months. Have you picked up anything new and added it to your collection? If so, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. And that is all for today. Thank you for hanging out with me. And as always, please try to stay positive, because at the end of the day, that is truly all we can try to do. Mwah! I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.